Chief of Defense Staff stresses need for collective effort towards sustainable national security and emergency management at security program of stakeholders in Abuja. Director General, Nigerian Television Authority urges youth in the country to adopt sustainable environmental practices to mitigate effects of climate change for sustainable development. And President Tinubu commends Nigeria Union of Journalists for organizing rancor-free election, urges newly elected NUJ President Al-Hassan Yahya to promote values of ethics of profession. Details and more in a moment. Thank you for staying tuned to News Panorama on NTA. I'm Naja Adani. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has emphasized civil-military collaboration in the ongoing fight against insurgency at the annual Security Management Program, where he stressed the need for a collective effort towards sustainable national security and emergency management.
We are not where we but we're heading there, surely. Thus, the theme civil-military relation for national security and stability is apt and relevant at this critical period of our national existence. The threats we face as a country are multifaceted, ranging from terrorism and insurgency to socio-economic issues and community unrest. Arising from these complex dynamics, it has become increasingly evident that no single institution can solve these issues in isolation.
That one of the most important space is winning the hearts and mind of the people. We should not, as a country, use the mistake of single individual, the black sheep, if you like, that you call it the family, to demonize an institution that has continued to make sacrifice on behalf of all of us.
I want to especially appreciate the armed forces, talking about the Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Army, who have shown the way to all other security agencies in Nigeria. The cooperation we are enjoying, especially in my specific operation, we have enjoyed good collaboration from the armed forces.
Key industry players and other institutions collaborating with agencies in the fight against insurgency also made valuable contributions during the session. Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base Ibaka, Akwa Ibom State, has handed over 3 suspected smugglers with exhibits to the Nigerian Customs Service and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Akwa Ibom State. Kelvin Samuel reports.
Handing over the suspects to the related agencies for further investigation and possible prosecution, the Commander Forward Operating Base Ibaka, Captain Uche Aneki, explained that gunboat belonging to the base while on a routine patrol around Banderu and Otawayata General area intercepted a wooden boat loaded with 125 sacks of industrial chemical and 62 cartons of different brands of contraband drugs en route to Nigeria from the Republic of Cameroon. He warns perpetrators to disease as the Nigerian Navy, under the leadership of the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Gala, will leave no stone unturned in ensuring safer waterways across the country.
FOB Ibaka, under the area of responsibility of the Eastern Naval Command, will continue to work relentlessly to frustrate the efforts of criminals in this general area.
It's a very huge success today by what we see on the ground at FOB Ibaka. And all sorts of crimes are not being done under the influence of these illicit drugs.
24,800 bottles of codeine syrup, 820 tubes of betadine, industrial chemical are among the exhibits handed over with 3 suspects to the agencies. In Uyo, Kelvin Samuel, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian army says it will continue to demonstrate unwavering commitment to combat insecurity. The Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa stated this at the passing out parade of the 87 regular recruit at the depot. Nigerian Army Zaria Siraj Abdullahi reports.
This excellence display of drill parade marks the end of the training exercise which converted these Hitato civilians to a well-trained soldiers. The reviewing officer, Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa urged the newly recruited soldiers to display high levels of professionalism, discipline, and loyalty to the country as they are now incorporated into a collaborative joint environment that is resolute to keep Nigeria as indivisible and peaceful entity.
The oath of allegiance administered to you are not mere words. They define the essence of the uniform you wear. You are now part of an honorable tradition built by the brave men and women who sacrificed so much before you. You are now being entrusted with the sacred duty of defending our beloved country, Nigeria. It is a fact that our nation currently faces numerous security challenges. Nonetheless, the Nigerian Army has achieved great feats in tackling these security threats. I am optimistic that these challenges will soon come to an end as we continue to work tirelessly to defend our country and protect the good citizen of our nation.
The passing out parade of the 87 regular recruit intake, consisting of 5,840 soldiers, coincides with the 100-year celebration of the existence of Depot Nigerian Army. Suraj Abdullahi, NTA.
The Nigerian Navy ship Sora has held its fourth quarter route march of the Central Naval Command Yenagoa in Bayelsa State, reiterating its commitment to always being physically and mentally ready to protect the nation's maritime domain against crude oil thieves and other criminal activities around the central waterways. The report.
To rid Nigeria's domain of oil thieves and illegal bunkering activities, men of the Nigerian Navy ship Sorrow has to be physically and mentally fit to discharge this enormous responsibility. Songs and chants boosted the morale of soldiers in their fourth quarter route march, which commenced from the Central Naval Command Yenagoa through Etegwe roundabout down to DSP Alamesia Road, Opolo, and back to the Central Naval Command, where officers and soldiers were fired up with aerobic exercise. In line with the Chief of Naval Staff directive to maintain a healthy force, special guest of honor, Acting Flag Officer Commanding Central Naval Command, Yenagoa, Rear Admiral Olusegun Olukunle Shoyemi, admonished the Commander NNS Sorrow, Komodo Nanman Lekan, and men of the command to remain resilient in protecting the nation's territorial waters. He affirmed that the exercise is only a part of the many activities of the Nigerian Navy aimed at enhancing Nigeria's internal security.
Of the naval staff maintains zero tolerance to indiscipline, zero tolerance to any corrupt practice. So for those of you that are out there in the field conducting anti-crude oil theft patrols, anti-illegal bunkering patrols, please remain steadfast in your duties. Do not waver in your resolve to rid this country of all criminalities.
For the Navy personnel, the last quarter route march will keep them physically and mentally alert as the new year begins. In Yenagoa, Baratwai Awi, NTA News.
Thank you, Baratwe. The importance of unity, integrity, and inclusiveness through culture was the focus at the inaugural Cultural Awards by the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists in Abuja. Deborah Balagbobo reports that personalities, including NTA's Director News, Halima Musa, were recognized for their contributions to the association's growth.
A display of Nigeria's rich cultural heritage embellished with a presentation of negative effects of social vices in a society with a view to drawing the attention of relevant stakeholders in addressing them.
These issues continue the advocacy, to continue creating awareness.
The idea of bringing this up to discuss it is in order to challenge such stereotypes.
Chairperson Nawaj FCT Basi Ita Ikbang says as the country marks the 16th day activism against gender-based violence, Nawaj will continue to remain steadfast in its mission to amplify the voice of women journalists and to advocate the rights and welfare of all through culture.
To write about some of this culture, to see ways of changing some of the narrative, to see ways of changing some of the myths and misconceptions.
I promise to relate closely with Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, and I believe this is the time. Let's work together towards changing the narrative.
By calling the media, particularly operated by our great Nigerian women, to uphold responsible journalism by presenting credible, patriotic, and factual story that will win the public trust in our great nation and beyond.
Those presented with awards say they will continue to support the association in achieving its mandate. In Abuja, Deborah Balagobo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Katsina State government has unveiled plans to revamp the 10-megawatt wind farm in Lambarimi after nearly 2 decades of non-functional applications of the site. The state governor, Dr. Dikko Umaru Radda, made this known during a meeting with the Vernier Group, the original equipment manufacturers. Dr. Radda said the government is committed to working closely with the company to rehabilitate this asset and restore its capacity to support the state's growing energy needs. The governor also said his administration remains dedicated to ensuring its sustainable operation in line with Nigeria's Renewable Energy Master Plan and the net zero goals. The Ministry of Education has unveiled a series of significant projects at the Federal Government Academy, Suleja, including a 10 kVA solar powerhouse. The initiative is aimed at enhancing staff welfare and creating a more conducive learning environment for students. Francis Udojo reports.
That was the ceremonial commissioning of the 10 kVA solar powerhouse by the Director of Senior Secondary Education, Binta Abdulkadri. The solar power installation has significantly enhances electricity supply and ensured adequate water availability to key facilities, including the boys and girls hostels and the school clinic. These improvements are part of a series of renovation projects initiated and funded by the school's Alumni Association.
They've done well, and I hope the younger ones will learn the art of giving back.
We were here several years ago, and then we know what we passed through in this institution, and we know what this institution has given to us. We do this periodically, and it's just an opportunity for us to give back to the society.
This is a gifted environment, and you cannot expect a child that goes to sleep in a very dirty environment with leaking roofs and all that to perform well in the class.
We have light now 24 hours in the hostels, so we don't have problem of reading, especially in the night. Now they have done it. We are grateful to them.
The students burst into celebratory moods, expressing excitement through heartwarming performances for the visitors. The Federal Government Academy, popularly known as the Center for the Gifted and Talented, was established in 1990. The school has a rich history of producing outstanding students who, true to its legacy, continue to give back through initiatives like this. From Suleja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
This is News Panorama on NTA. Stay tuned for more reports after this timeout.
Nigeria, ready to breathe cleaner air and save money? Let's talk about gas. Drive with CNG, the smart, cost-effective choice. Fill up for less and travel further. Save money, save the planet. Switch to LPG for cooking. It's cleaner, healthier, and better for environment. Say goodbye to smoke and eye problems. Do you know Nigeria is a gas nation ranked 9th globally with over 209 trillion cubic feet of gas reserve? Gas isn't just for cooking and driving. It powers industries too. Cleaner, cheaper, and more efficient. And the best part, conversion centers are popping up everywhere. It's never been easier to switch to gas. Join the cleaner energy revolution. Choose LPG for cooking and CNG for your vehicles. Clean energy for brighter future. This message is brought to you by the Office of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, supported by the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Bonvita, prepare them to win every day.
Tax reforms for economic development and growth in Nigeria. How will it fast-track the national economy and how will it impact on you and other activities? You need to know as you listen to the conversation on NTA Tuesday Live, coming up on the 3rd of December 2024. Tuesday Live on the major issues and key areas of the ongoing reforms for national prosperity. It promises to be inclusive, incisive, educative and interactive as ever. NTA Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
The federal government of Nigeria wants vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
The Abuja Leadership Center series is taking place in the Federal Capital Territory, where leadership experts want heads of organizations to advance knowledge and skills through right training to drive leadership development in Nigeria. Joseph Otsen reports.
Though leadership experts have proven that leaders and followers both play a crucial role in steering good governance, they believe a leader with advanced knowledge and skills galvanizes and brings the best out of the followers.
With dedication, with passion, you are likely to inspire people who will do their bit, and when we harness our collective talents, our collective efforts, our collective endeavor, that is how countries grow.
To improve leadership quality in the country, Nigeria's Tertiary Education Trust Fund decided to establish more centers of excellence responsible for research and teaching of leadership and public governance.
Small-scale businesses.
This initiative gave birth to the Abuja Leadership Center 2 years ago. At its 14th leadership series, the major message is centered on moving Nigeria beyond hope.
So what is the hope all about? How do we articulate this hope? How do we bring this hope to bear on the life of the citizens? How do we bring the hope President Tinubu is talking about on the economy, on our political system?
I've learned a lot of skill. I've learned how policy are formulated and implemented.
Those people in government need such a center for them to be able to actually transform their policy into reality.
One of the key requirements to acquire a master's degree at the center is for students to go back to their communities to mentor, educate, and inspire young Nigerians through a program called Leadership Youth Clinic. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
The Sultan of Sokoto and President General Nigeria's Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs Muhammad Saad Abubakar is urging Muslims to start looking for the new moon of Jumada Thani on Sunday, 1st December 2024, equivalent to the 29th day of Jumada Ula. This is contained in a statement signed by the chairman, Sultanate Council, Professor Sambo Wali Junaid. It calls on Muslims to report the sighting of the new crescent of Jumada Thani to nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan of Sokoto for official declaration. President Tinubu congratulates Al-Hassan Yahaya on his election as president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. In a statement by his special advisor, Information and Strategy, Bayo Nanuga, he commends the union for organizing a ranker-free election. The president also congratulates other newly elected NUJ executives, expressing his belief in the press taking on its constitutional role with a renewed patriotic passion. And we'll take another break now. Stay tuned.
Yeah, ready to breathe cleaner air and save money? Let's talk about gas. Drive with CNG, the smart, cost-effective choice. Fill up for less and travel further. Save money, save the planet. Switch to LPG for cooking. It's cleaner, healthier, and better for environment. Say goodbye to smoke and eye problems. Do you know Nigeria is a gas nation ranked 9th globally with over 209 trillion cubic feet of gas reserve? Gas isn't just for cooking and driving. It powers industries too. Cleaner, cheaper, and more efficient. And the best part, conversion centers are popping up everywhere. It's never been easier to switch to gas. Join the cleaner energy revolution. Choose LPG for cooking and CNG for your vehicles. Clean energy for brighter future. This message is brought to you by the Office of the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, supported by the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Bonvita. Prepare them to win every day.
Tax reforms for economic development and growth in Nigeria. How will it fast-track the national economy and how will it impact on you and other activities? You need to know as you listen to the conversation on NTA Tuesday Live, coming up on the 3rd of December 2024. Tuesday Live on the major issues and key areas of the ongoing reforms for national prosperity. It promises to be inclusive, incisive, educative and interactive as ever. NTA Tuesday Live, every week at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
The federal government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Abdulhamid Dembos, has urged youth in the country to join the fight against climate change for sustainable development. The DG was represented at the event by the General Manager, NTA Channel 5, Paul Atting. Discussants at the symposium called on youth and stakeholders to be vanguards of change for solutions to climate change, including renewable energy, sustainable land use, and eco-friendly technology to take advantage of the numerous opportunities in renewable energy.
Drastic situations include more frequent natural disasters, food and water scarcity, and a world where vulnerable people suffer the most. However, we are here today not just to acknowledge the problem, but to take action. We are all here because we believe in the power of human initiative and collaboration.
And if you look at climate change from this angle, it won't be so depressing.
It will serve us to know that whatever we do today will boomerang in some years to come. And that is why some things that happened some years back, 200 years back, is what we are facing now.
The meeting is geared at creating TV awareness on the effect of climate change and alternative source. On that note, we conclude News Panorama. Thanks for being a part of it.